It's always good to talk to someone with real insight into the world of convenience and mobility retail, and who better to speak to than the Global Executive Vice President for Retail at Shell, Istvan Kapitany. Istvan, welcome to the NAC show.
Thanks, Dan, for the invitation. It's great to be back. I remember in 2015 we had a similar discussion, so we can follow up.
The world is moving very fast. Even since 2015, it's changed enormously. How do retailers keep up? How does Shell keep up?
Yeah, plenty of opportunities. We see three main areas of change and transition. So energy transition is a very important part. Clearly, I mean, Shell as an energy company, it plays a big role in our future. Also, a huge change in digital. So the digital transformation is going on with significant speed, which is having an impact on everything we do. And there is also a bit of a customer revolution going on. Basically, people are changing their purchasing habits, and also far more disruptors are arriving on the scene. Some industries are hit more than others, but I always see these opportunities rather than just threats.
So looking forward, where does Shell want to be? Where do you want Shell to be?
So we would like to, I will talk about the part I run, because that would be a very broad discussion about Shell as an energy company, but I run retail, which is our mobility arm. And we'd like to be the most important, the biggest, the more extensive, and the more customer-friendly mobility retailer in the world going forward. Now, we've been a mobility retailer, of course, for the last 100 years, because we provide customers with the opportunity to drive from A to B and enjoy themselves on the road, give them a good cup of coffee, have great food, great toilets, friendly staff, 500,000 customer service champions. But we would like to stay in the energy transition very relevant to them, and that's the reason why this is a decision from us. And you might have seen in 2017 when we announced our retail strategy in the downstream open house, the investors meeting. We have a commitment to grow the network from 44,000 service stations to 55,000 service stations, grow the number of convenience stores by 5,000 stores by 2025, and also to go from 30 million daily customers to 40 million daily customers. Now, because we are a business, we also committed financial terms, and we're going to be aiming to achieve $1.5 billion more net earnings by 2025 from the retail business. And with that, Shell will stay the undisputable number one in terms of retailing spread around the world, going from 80 countries to close to 100 countries by then.
Now, you travel more than anybody. We were just talking about flying, and you know it's sometimes quite tough. But you also pick up ideas, and you see new things, don't you? And you have quite a unique perspective then on the Shell business, but also on the industry as well. Istvan, tell me about that.
In energy transition, it is very important for us to stay at the forefront and drive the energy transition. And therefore, we do things what perhaps even going a little bit ahead of the curve. So Share Recharge, which is our electric vehicle charging concept, is a big element of our growth program now, which wasn't in 2017, and that's how quickly the situation is changing. And we're investing into hundreds and hundreds of electric vehicle charging stations in markets where there is a demand for it already starting to grow. Still very small demand, but starting to grow. So markets like the United Kingdom, Holland, Germany, China, where basically there is, and also the United States of America, where basically we can see that people are now switching to electric vehicles. Now, for us, it's almost like a no-brainer, because huge part of these customers who are switching from internal combustion engine cars to electric vehicles are Shell customers and have been for a long period of time. They even tell us that now we are switching to electric vehicles. Could you be so nice to provide us with electric vehicle charging? So we invest quite a significant amount of money already. You might have seen that our new energy type of investments are in the region of around $2 billion as a group all around the world. So it's playing a big part. Also, trying to be at the forefront of the technical development of this. So in Europe, we are part of a consortium called Ionity, where these service station chargers are 350 kilowatt-hour chargers, enabling electric vehicle drivers to fill up in 5-6 minutes. which is the future. Now you might ask, would it not take away from internal combustion engine fuel sales? Our view is that we provide it and we will provide customers always of their choice. We are providing a mosaic of choices. So therefore, for our B2B, in other words, big fleet customers, we are providing LNG, which is a better way of driving their trucks in terms of CO2 emissions than diesel. We are the number one biofuels retailer in the world. Through Raízen, we're producing, which is our Brazilian joint venture for producing biofuels. We produce first and second generation biofuels. And we are at the forefront of second generation biofuels, where basically we're producing biofuels from the non-edible part of the sugarcane. We're also very, very strongly working on nature-based solution. That's a pet topic for me. I'm very proud of it, because you asked, what did you pick up and what do you innovate? That one I am very proud of, because if you had asked me then, 18 months ago, that would I believe that it would be possible that 1 in 6 customers in Holland drive carbon neutral, I would at Shell, I would have said there's no way. Because normally the carbon offset programs are achieving globally around 0.5 to 1% penetration. We launched the program based upon our own capabilities with nature-based solutions projects. These are projects all around the world in forestation, in wetland preservations. We invested $300 million into these projects, and we offer now customers to either buy our top product V-Power and then we take care of their carbon credit, or buy our main grade fuels and they have to contribute 1 cent a liter, and they do. And 20 years ago they wouldn't have. Today they do.
And I suppose in terms of where the Shell brand is positioned in your relationship with customers and them looking to connect with the Shell brand, this is really important, particularly to younger Shell customers, isn't it?
It's very, very important to stay relevant, the license to operate.
Yeah.
But as I said, I always tell investors and stakeholders that we have been for over 100 years in the mobility business, in providing customers with a choice. It's a known fact that around 20% of the fuel that we are selling in the Shell retail network is coming from Shell refineries. The rest is coming from other producers. A growing part of our income is coming from non-fuel retailing, and we are today here at the next exhibition, which is absolutely appropriate for us to be here, because we have a commitment to our investors that 50% of our income should come from non-fuel retailing activities by 2025. So it means we're starting programs with big partners, very strong in partnerships. We are a global partner of Coca-Cola and Costa, because Coca-Cola bought Costa. We are a global partner of Unilever. Unilever is a global supplier. We are a global retailer. Not any other retailer has 45,000 sites in 80 countries. We are the global partner of Red Bull, which is a truly unique situation. We are sitting here in the Shell FRN Fuel Reward Network booth here in Atlanta, and you could see that our Fuel Reward Network loyalty program, which has 8.2 million active customers, which is a huge number, already offering national offers of convenience store products all across now over 8,000 sites. And as far as I know, this is the only offer which is available in 50 states of the United States of America. So we can do many, many things to stay not only relevant, but also leading some of these transitions.
Well, I was going to ask about leadership, because obviously the strategy is very well defined now. Yeah. I think the Shell team seem to understand the strategy. Everybody seems to understand the strategy, and the market seems to understand the strategy as well. So, congratulations on
it's not a very complicated
on the clarity, but it's very clear, and the team are right behind it. What does it take to have achieved that and get that direction on the business?
You remember we talked about this in 2015, and in a big global organization like Shell Retail, with very different operator platforms that we are using. So in the United States, where we are today, we mainly have wholesale operations. So basically, we do not run the service stations, gas stations. We don't own them. We have great wholesale partners who do that for us. In Europe, it's predominantly owned by Shell. In the east is a combination of Shell ownership and dealer ownership. And we have 38 countries where we are operating through a license agreement. It's like a franchise agreement. So very, very different type, and many countries operate in joint ventures, like a huge part of our Chinese operations. So clarity is everything in this. Clarity in terms of the brand, clarity in terms of the direction we would like to take. Because if there is no clarity on the strategy, there could be a problem, of course, dealing with wholesalers, license partners, dealer operations, and also Shell operations. Now, it's not as you recall the strategy, basically we said that we would like to stay the number one mobility retailer in the world. And in order to do that, we're going to be entering new markets. 5 new markets we said we would enter and grow. Yep. And these are not surprising markets. It's easy to understand. It's China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, and Russia. And I'm very happy to say that we are growing, and we almost have 2,500 sites already in these markets. We're growing significantly in China. We're growing significantly in India, Russia, Mexico, and Indonesia is starting to catch up, which had a very, very slow start. We also said that we're going to be growing the convenience retail part of our business, so we invest a lot of money into convenience stores, also on the existing sites, but also buying new sites with better convenience and building new sites with better convenience store ability. And we said that we will have 10,000 more service stations. We said we will be reducing our carbon footprint. We will be increasing the share of non-fossil fuel part of our mobility platforms. We're going to be having 50% of our income generated from non-fuel retailing. I think these are things which are measurable, easy to understand. The difficulty, of course, is that you need to deliver them. And the way how we deliver them is not like buying a big network somewhere, because you haven't heard that we went out and we bought 1,500 service stations. We build them one by one, we buy them one by one, we rebuild them one by one. So it's quite a detailed activity by the whole team.
And you're proud of that team. I mean, the leadership is key to success in this industry, isn't it? With the disruptions that we have and the challenges that we have, as well as the opportunities. But leadership is pretty important, isn't it?
I think one of the biggest, if not the biggest, differentiator for Shell Retail is the people. We have a program called People Make the Difference Real now for a long time. In the company normally say, you guys, you always celebrate something. And I said, absolutely, we always celebrate people. Small celebrations, saying thank you, giving prizes to people, and make sure that everybody is motivated.
You're very passionate. I mean, you're very passionate about this, aren't you, Istvan?
I'm very passionate because I tell you, people ask what is my job, and I always say that I go around the world and I hug people, because luckily the team is so good who works in our business. I don't have to, of course, do any operational activities in the business. But what I love to see is that the great job that all the people around the world are doing. Also important part of the leadership, which is another element very close to my heart, is diversity. Yeah, particularly what we see all around the world in politics more and more. It's a bit of a divide, yeah. In many markets in the world, and I'm a great believer in diversity, looking through particular problems through different lenses, and for that you need different people. If you run a global organization, it has to be reflecting upon the global customer base. I'm so happy to say that it's now more than 40% of our staff in retail females. In the leadership team, we have 50% ratio. We have people from Asia, people from Africa, people from different parts of the European organizations, and people are getting to positions by what they accomplish and not where they come from, and it has a massive impact on the spirit.
Meritocratic all the way through.
And also, by the way, the other thing is that the local businesses, as much as we could, we run with local people. It's very, very interesting. So we go to China and we see quite a number of our competitors bringing in so-called expatriates, and we're very proud that we are running the whole Chinese business with our great staff from the People's Republic of China, who's been with Shell for more than 10 years. They understand the local circumstances, but they also do understand Shell.
Are you confident about the future?
I'm excited about the future and confident that we do have a chance, if we do a good job, to actually succeed. And that is the most you can say. Because anybody who is telling you that I have the wisdom and is absolutely sure that we're going to be the winners, I mean, that person is a tick naive. What I found totally fascinating about this, that I never seen so much change. And in my view, what I believe, when you have great people, when you have every single day 30, 35 million customers visiting you, if you just listen to them, if you listen to your own staff, you listen to the 500,000 service champions who are out there, the 30 million customers who are out there, you have a chance to find a better solution than others. Is there a guarantee for that? Absolutely not, because great competitors coming to the market, and therefore basically you really need to be on your toes. But what I said, what I really love about this job, because we have such a big reach, we don't need to ask consultancy companies to tell us, you know, how electric vehicle charging should be done at Shell service stations. We just put them in, pilot them, ask the customers, is it good enough? Is it fast enough? What else do you want? What payment method do you want? What do you want in the store? Do you want more seating in the store? It's a gift. And if you run this as a retailer runs these kind of challenges, I think we have a very good chance to succeed.
Istvan Kapitany, thanks for spending time with us today.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks again.